Okay, we're back with more mechanical issues with the Land Rover. Surprise, surprise. For a while, in fact, ever since we got this thing, which is a little over a year now, there's been a jingle in the front end. And for the record, I'm not new to Land Rover ownership. That one I've had for close to 8 years now. Anyway, there's a jingle, a funny sound. Every time something in the front suspension moves, it jingles. I have a theory as to what it might be, and today we're going to find out. Now, I have an upcoming trip with this. I'm getting another seat for this, but it's going to be an overnight trip. It's not a huge distance, but with my capabilities, it's going to be an overnight trip. So I need to do a little bit of work on it. Now, I did just spend $2,500 on a third seat for this, for a brand new seat. And I found another second handy for $350, something like that, plus the cost of the diesel, so it's going to double the price, I'm sure. And so yeah, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get this seat. Now, this jingle in here, let's move this camera. So the jingle I have, I reckon might be these little bits on the top of the struts. This is where the suspension comes through. Now, normally there's a little black plastic cover that covers this. And I've taken that off so I can inspect. Although, by the feel of this, that bush seems to be relatively okay. So I'm going to take the driver's side one off, which is underneath like the header tank for the radiator and everything. So that's going to be a bit of fun. Anyway, let's get this other cover off. Alright, so these are some difficult to get to bits. So I'm going to remove my antenna here, which I really need to put on a bit more tightly so that nobody steals it. I actually don't think I can get to all the screws with this one. I can stick my hand up under there and I can feel the top of the strut tower, and it feels much the same as the other one. So I think for the purposes of filming, we're going to park our camera under the bonnet and go for a drive with the GoPro running and see what happens to that strut tower while we're moving. Alright, hopefully this position works well. I think I can shut the hood or the bonnet over the top of this, and we'll go for a drive and see what's happening in there. Alright, so I reviewed my under bonnet footage and had a bit of a think about what it might be. I don't actually think it's my strut tops. I think it's something in here. But if I can get to it, can you hear that rattle? I think that's what that is. I think it's the steering damper. I don't think it's my bushes, and I recall the previous owner, the people we bought this from, actually said he'd had all the bushes replaced. Although the bushes in there do look a bit knackered. I reckon I'm going to whack this camera under here and have a look at the steering damper and see if that's the problem. So we'll go for another drive. Alright, so I've had a bit of a look back over the footage. This next bit And I'm not convinced that my theory about it being the rattle on the suspension damper is correct. I think something, it looks like the sound is correlating more with the diff movement and it's down low. So it could be the lower bushes on that suspension strut. But there's also something else on here. I know in the back there are little steel cables that are designed to stop that load sharing suspension overextending. And I'm wondering if they could be rattling against stuff. But then again, the front end doesn't have that because it's got coil springs and not leaf springs. So the sound is very much coming from up the front somewhere. So I think what I'm going to do is stick my magnet mount on the diff and hope it doesn't fall off, and try and get some video from there. Anyway, let's see if I can destroy a GoPro. So I think we found our problem. I sat down here and reviewed some footage, and I can see that suspension strut is bumping against the axle down there, so likely my lower bushes are knackered. Anyway, I've got to replace bushes on the front shockers anyhow. I'm not sure if I'll do that myself or get somebody else to do it. We'll find out. Though it shouldn't be a terribly difficult job, but sometimes these things are deceptive. Anyway, we'll cut this one short here and we'll do another video on replacing them shocks at some point. Anyway, see you later. Hope you had fun.